So you and I have had an interesting conversation in the last few minutes here today. We were talking about the spirit of the conversation and how important our tone is and things like that. And I know this is something we've talked on here before, but I want to read real quick a post that one of the members in the bridge had posted in one of our Facebook pages. And oh, where is it here? Okay. He says, and this is just one of many we get. He says, hey, I get this client objection. Your price is too high. I can't afford your price. I don't have money. What should my response be? And now let me state here real quick. He posted this in a non-CSA, he posted in the Contractor Fight private group, right? And there's like 30, 31, 35 comments on here. And guys are going, offer financing or lower the scope of the job and different materials. And I would offer different options and on and on and on. And they're going on, break the job up into phases. And one guy's like, well, tell them you get what you pay for. That's my go-to response. Sometimes I change the job scope to save the money without cutting my profit out. Business is business. Everything costs money. And listen, I understand wholeheartedly that the help that these guys are giving is from a good place. I understand that a lot of these things are good things to say or have a mindset around. But let me read what my response was real quick, and then I just want you to weigh in. All right. I said to this dude, I said, there's a bunch of solid replies here to this question or issue. This objection pretty much goes away when you understand human beings and their motive for wanting to buy. And then I encourage this guy to get involved in our training in the bridge and to do the role plays and stuff like that. So basically, Derek, where I was coming at with this, we're all very quick to offer like these tactical solutions to do things, which is natural because that's what we've kind of trained ourselves to do through the years. But this whole price objection thing or any other objection you might get can often be totally avoided when you have the proper spirit of the conversation and no bullshit discussion and you really understand their motive. How does that fit into what we're talking about today with the whole spirit?
Well, I love how you said spirit of the conversation because I'm starting to hone and understand it's the spirit of the upfront conversation is really what needs to happen. You got to have time. This has to become part of your vernacular. This has to be just part of you when you're doing this because the customer is calling you and they need something. Well, the customer doesn't know what all the things you have to do to get them the information. Right. You don't just write a bunch of proposals. So how does that spirit of the upfront conversation work? It's finding this stuff out before you put a lot of effort. My main point here is it's not just about case in point, had a phone call today. Guy called, scheduled call, landscape install. I asked him, tell me a little about the project. It's actually been a bit of a hurdle for us, he and I, to connect, phone tags. So I was like, thank you for your patience. Tell me about the project. I see here in my notes that you want to have a landscape installed. He goes into, well, I've removed all of my plants. He said, okay, key point here. I cut all of my plants down. And in the picture, these are really overgrown plants with massive root balls underneath. And he said, I cut my plants down. So immediately I go, I bet he didn't remove the root balls. Okay, check. Let me hang on to that one for a minute. Yeah. And he goes, I've never done anything like this before. Check. Okay. He doesn't have the information. I'm 22 years old. Check. And I don't know what things cost. Check. So I go to, you know what, man? I'm hearing a lot of things that you're saying here. Is it okay if I just bring up the elephant in the room? And he laughed and said, yeah, what's the elephant in the room? I said, well, I just kind of want to talk about, you said you cut these trees down, so you left the root balls. This is the first time you've ever done a project. You stated you're 22 years old. Is it okay? And he said, yeah. I was like, all right, my average landscape, kind of what you're describing in the picture I'm looking at, you're going to land somewhere around. What does he say? He says, okay. So I wait. And I go, okay. That's the inflection of the voice. This is part of the spirit of the upfront conversation. And he says, yeah, that's way out of my budget. I'm embarrassed, but I actually. Perfect, man. Why don't you come by the garden center, pick out your plants. We'll help you pick out those plants and you install them yourself. So we go back and forth. But the deal is, what would I have normally done? What did contractors in general, when someone calls and asks for an estimate, you got to put a proposal together. That takes time. So if I'm looking at this and I got to put a landscape design together, that can be 2 or 3 hours, just that. I haven't even went to see the guy. Or if I do go and see the guy, I mean, this is a 6 to 8 hour turnaround.
Right.
That's why it's so important to not just be tactical. To go, hey, the upfront conversation here is, do you even have any money? It's like, just find that out. So all contractors need to be having pleasures, whatever it is. You can have that on the first phone call, not even getting to the point where we're trying to close the deal, but just to talk to this person, to just even understand how you're going to protect your time, and in return, protecting their time by the spirit of an upfront conversation.
I see so many and this is a good thing, but I've seen it turn bad. The good thing is that contractors are standing up for themselves. They're part of our communities and what we have going on, and they're listening to this podcast and coming to our events and whatever it is. And we're all getting people into this frenzy in a good way to go, man, I'm going to stand up for my prices. I'm going to fight for my time. I'm going to do what's right. I'm not going to be a pushover and all this other crap. And so that's the good part. That's the good part, is that we're going, I'm not going to continue to repeat the same crap I've been repeating for God knows how many years I've been in my business, right? So that's good thing. The not so good thing with that is they all in the name of standing up for themselves and their prices. So it's like one of those comments that I read earlier at the top of this podcast was, the guy's like, yeah, I get this price objection all the time. And the one guy was, like, I tell him you get what you pay for. And we've heard that a million times. You get what you pay for. But usually when we say you get what you pay for, we usually have a little chippiness behind it. What's that?
It never comes off good.
No, it never comes off good. Well, Derek, you get what you pay for. So I'm attacking you. I'm basically saying to you, Derek, and you can't, now you might be all right, I totally get that, but we got to package this with a little bit of sugar and some honey. And, you're from the South, let's role play that for a minute. So let's just say I'm your customer. What would it sound like if you wanted to make the point, you get what you pay for? What would the right spirit come across if I just said, Derek, listen, you said $5,000, man, that's just a lot of money, man. I can't see spending $5,000 just on some simple landscaping.
It's so hard for me not to, I'm simple. I go, simple?
Yeah.
I go in a completely different direction. So how do I handle that when someone thinks it's just too expensive? I typically say something, I completely understand. It's just like, my Jeep has heated seats and heated mirrors. And that's something that I really wanted. Is really important to me. But if I was just going for something really basic and economical, I would have probably went for like a Nissan with a stick shift. But that was just important to me. So what's really important to you here?
Well, I just need my yard to look better, man. My house looks like crap, but I just can't. I mean, this is a lot of money you're asking for.
Thank you for saying that. So $5,000 is that's lending more towards the heated seats and heated mirrors. I mean,
yeah, Derek, that's just way out of line. I mean, it's way more money than I've paid in the past for something like this.
So what did that look like when you had some landscaping done in the past and you paid less? How did that work out?
Well, they did a good job.
For some reason, you're calling me and not calling them.
Well, I tried to.
Tried to?
Yeah, I called the number I had for him and work it or something. I don't know. It's some weird voicemail or something, but I left a couple messages. I haven't heard back yet, so now I have to find somebody else. And I've done stuff like this in the past, and it was, I mean, you're more than 2 times as expensive.
You know, I'm just curious, and this is going to be a bold question. Is it okay if I ask a bold question?
Sure. I don't know. I mean, you're probably just wanting to make a lot more profit than other guys do, you know. And I don't want to be on the receiving end of getting screwed, I guess.
Well, I can definitely say you're not going to be screwed, but I definitely do want to make a profit.
Well, everyone should make, you know, a profit. You know, I mean, I would say a standard in business is about a 10% profit.
Not in my business.
Well, I don't understand how you could be more than twice the price of all these other guys in the past that I've used. Yeah, I'm going to have to keep looking.
Okay. Well, reach back out to me if you can help. I'd love to.
Sounds good. All right. So I loved the spirit of that because, and I tried to push back a little bit. I tried to, you know, do some of those typical things that we hear. And I think what's important to understand is never once did I feel like you were attacking me with a tone. Now, I might have felt pushed into a corner a little bit with some of the questions you asked me, because now I'm like, I'm being exposed that I'm full of shit. All right. But that's entirely different. And I'm looking at some of the comments here. And the other thing that's good that this ties into the spirit is you did not go into lecture mode on me. I've done that. I remember one night